The air in the kitchen felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. As I stood there gripping the edge of the counter, my knuckles white. "What do you want for your birthday, Claire?" I asked, my voice softer than I meant it to be, searching her face for the warmth we used to share. Her eyes, once my safe harbor, were cold now, distant, like a winter sea. She didn't look up from her phone. "You disappear," she said, her words slicing through the silence, sharp and deliberate. I froze, waiting for her to laugh, to say it was a joke, but she just kept scrolling, her lips a thin line, as if she hadn't just shattered my world. I'd always thought love was a sturdy thing, built on years of late-night talks, shared dreams, and quiet mornings with coffee and her hand in mine. Claire and I had been married for 8 years, together for 12. We weren't perfect, nobody is, but I believed we were solid. I worked long hours at the architectural firm, sketching buildings that would outlast us, while she taught art. 2 high school kids, her passion filling our home with color and chaos. We'd weathered fights, financial strain, and the ache of a miscarriage 3 years ago. I thought we'd come through stronger, but lately, something had shifted. She'd grown quiet, her laughter rare, her touch fleeting. I chalked it up to stress, to life. I was wrong. That night, her words echoed in my head as I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling while she slept beside me, her back a wall I couldn't scale. "You disappear." Why would she say that? I replayed every argument, every moment I might have failed her. Was it the late nights at work? The way I forgot to ask about her day sometimes? I wanted to shake her awake, demand answers, but fear kept me still, fear that she meant it. The next morning, I found her phone on the kitchen counter, forgotten in her rush to leave for work. I'd never snooped before. Trust was our unspoken vow, but her words gnawed me, a splinter I couldn't ignore. My hands trembled as I unlocked it, her passcode still our anniversary. The messages were right there, a conversation with someone named J, no last name, just a single letter, like a secret too dangerous to spell out. "Can't wait to see you tonight," Jay wrote. "Missed you at the gallery." Claire's reply, "Soon. I'm tired of pretending." My heart thudded, a sick rhythm. I scrolled further, each message a blade. "He doesn't suspect anything," she'd written last week. "I just need time." Time for what? To leave me. To erase me. I set the phone down, my vision blurring. The kitchen, with its chipped mugs and the fridge covered in photos of us smiling at the beach, laughing at her sister's wedding, felt like a stage set, a lie. I wanted to confront her, to scream, but I needed proof. Something undeniable. Suspense coiled in my chest as I drove to her school, my mind racing with images of her with someone else. I parked across the street, watching the entrance like a man unmoored, waiting for a glimpse of her truth. She emerged at dusk, her red scarf bright against the gray evening. But she wasn't alone. A man, tall, with dark hair and a confident stride, walked beside her. They didn't touch, but their closeness screamed intimacy. He leaned in, whispering something that made her smile, a smile I hadn't seen in months. My throat tightened, and I gripped the steering wheel to keep from shattering. I followed them, my car, a shadow trailing theirs, to a small gallery downtown. Through the window, I saw them laughing, her hand brushing his arm, their ease a betrayal. Of everything I thought we were, I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. Instead, I went home, packed a bag, and left a note. "You wanted me to disappear. I'm gone." I drove to a motel, the neon sign flickering like my resolve. The room smelled of stale smoke, but it was quiet, a place to think. My phone buzzed with her calls, her texts. "Where are you? We need to talk." I didn't reply. Let her feel the absence she'd asked for. Days bled into weeks. I stayed at the motel, my life reduced to a suitcase and a laptop. I couldn't face our friends, our families. How do you explain that the person you loved most was living a lie? I kept digging though, needing to understand. A friend at the firm, tech-savvy and discreet, helped me trace Jay. His name was Julian, an artist Claire had met at a workshop last year. They'd been meeting in secret for months, their affair hidden in gallery visits and late-night texts. Each revelation was a fresh wound, but I couldn't stop. I needed to know how far her betrayal went. One night I found an email she'd sent to Julian, forwarded to my work account by mistake months ago. "I love you, but I'm scared," she wrote. "He's a good man, but he's not you." I read it over and over, the words burning. A good man, not enough, never enough. I wanted to hate her, but the love was still there, tangled in the pain, making it impossible to let go. I started seeing a therapist, a kind woman with gray hair who listened as I poured out my grief. "You're holding on to her betrayal like it defines you," she said. "It doesn't. You get to choose what comes next." But what came next? Divorce papers. Revenge. I couldn't imagine either. I just wanted the ache to stop. 3 months after I left, Claire found me. I'd moved to a small apartment, trying to rebuild. She showed up at my door, her eyes red, her hands clutching a letter. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice breaking. "I was wrong. I was lost." She told me Julian was a mistake, a fleeting escape from her own doubts about us, about herself. She'd ended it weeks ago, she said, and wanted me back. I wanted to believe her. God, I did. But trust, once broken, doesn't mend easily. Why? I asked, my voice raw. Why wasn't I enough? She cried then, her words stumbling. You were enough. I forgot how to feel it. Her confession was a knife, twisting deeper because it was honest. She wasn't a villain, just human, flawed and fragile like me. I didn't let her. In that night, I couldn't, but I kept her letter, reading it in the quiet hours. She wrote about our early days, how my laugh used to make her feel safe, how she'd lost herself in grief after the miscarriage and hadn't known how to find her way back. I don't expect forgiveness, she wrote, but I'll spend my life earning it if you'll let me. Weeks later, I saw her at a coffee shop, by chance or fate. She looked tired, but her eyes held a spark of the Claire I'd loved. We talked, not about Julian or the betrayal, but about small things, her students, my new project. It wasn't reconciliation, not yet, but it was a start, a fragile thread of hope. I don't know if we'll ever be what we were. Trust is a house built slowly, and ours had burned to the ground. But standing there, watching her stir sugar into her coffee, I felt something shift. Maybe love isn't about perfection or even forgiveness. Maybe it's about choosing to stay, even when it hurts, because the alternative, disappearing forever's a loss too great to bear. I left the coffee shop alone, but not empty. The pain was still there, a quiet companion, but so was the possibility of something new. Not a return to the past, but a step toward a future we might build, brick by painful brick, if we both dared to try.